Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another District Gooner Pod. It's your two favorite DC Gooners.
Howdy, KP. We hitting you on a Saturday morning. I got the coffee flowing, but it's kind of funny. I'm thinking this one should be hit in the evening time. I'd rather be having this conversation over a cold one, cause it's in dire straits out here, man. We in dire straits.
Yeah, the energy's definitely a little off compared to the usual, I guess, right? I think this was a really long week, dude. That's how I would describe it. I feel like Monday and Tuesday were really hard after that title ending weekend. I think we can call it that. And Wednesday didn't bring a whole lot of hope. I feel like, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even sure if I was going to watch that game on Wednesday.
Wow, did you actually feel like that?
I felt like that. Yeah, I posted on Blue Sky to check in, see if like other people are going to be watching the game. I don't know, man. I felt like I can always catch the replay based on how it goes. And maybe I was a little worried that it could look horrible. It could be a 3-0 job at Forest. I feared that a little bit.
I guess to be fair to you, it was one you probably could have watched back on the replay. Not an exciting game. I know this pod is going to be a lot less about the game and more about the vibes, the current vibes around the club. There is a lot of chatter. What went wrong? Why did it go wrong? How do we fix it in the future? There's a lot of those type of talking points. But let's get through the game real quick. 0-0. Goose eggs. I want to say the one thing we should really hit on. I think we were in differing minds here. Sterling starting, bringing Marino off the bench. That's what your preference was. Marino can't play the 90. I think my preference was, I don't care about Sterling. Anybody but Sterling. I think it went the latter. I guess Sterling did come in and did nothing. But let me throw it to you. What did you think about the lineup and the performance overall?
Well, he ran it back, right? He ran it back, and I feel like the big question is Marino or Sterling. Which one should be off the bench? I'm struggling with this one, man. I find it very weird that we spent time, assessed the situation we were in, came up with a game plan, bring on Marino off the bench. It worked against Leicester. It won us the game. And then we changed that approach, and we haven't scored since. We haven't looked that great. And I'm struggling with that. I think there's a lot of questions there for the manager a little bit. But overall, I still feel strongly that Marino should have been coming off the bench. It worked. Like, we saw it, trial and error. We saw it. It worked. Why change it? I struggle with it, man. And it gives me a lot more hope that we can score and win the game, because I'm so confident in our back line, in our midfield. These last two games, we've been saying, like, we'll hang around in games with the midfield and the back line that we have.
I don't know about Sterling at all at this point. I don't want to see him again. I'm just over him. I am completely over the dude. He's coming in 2 games now. Just looks like he can't do anything. I'm sorry. We stuck with him for as long as we could. He's a lone player. He's not a true Arsenal player at this point. That's how I feel about it. He's not giving the effort. I just don't think he's giving enough effort for me to be like, I need to see him on the field. He's just not. Now, to what you just said, I do agree. What is the manager thinking? Putting out Marino for 90 minutes, what is the real thought process there? Who are you going to bring off the bench? Why isn't Tierney possibly getting a shout out the left wing? I don't know. Why not? Why isn't Marino starting in the central midfield? Our midfield's strong. Why don't we have him starting in the central midfield, making those late runs into the box? That's your role, Marino. You're going to be our second striker, basically. Get into the box late. That's what we're going to run. Trossard, Tierney, Nwaneri up front, something like that. Some other variation. Okay? Nah, man, we're trying out the same old stuff. Slow build up, super defensive. Great. Pretty good in transitions. Awesome. Slow build up. It's like, but then who's our player? Who's our player that's going to create the moment? We don't have one. I really don't know why we're running the same stuff back. I don't get that, KP.
I agree with you that the buildup has been really slow. I mean, you watched that Nottingham Forest game, dude, and I felt like they were so much faster than us, especially up top, right? Elanga, Hudson-Odoi. I mean, when they were in transition, they just looked so fast, dude. And I was watching our attack, and I mean, realistically, we have to come to peace with the situation that we're in, dude. Like, Trossard is not going to get faster next weekend. He's just not. Waneri's not going to get more accustomed, just as is, right? He's been cramping up. You can tell the physicality is catching up with him. He's just not going to improve within a week to overcome that challenge. Same thing with Marino. Like, Marino's not going to get faster, dude. He's got that one pace. And I like your shout of maybe changing things up in the midfield a little bit. I felt like Trossard should be playing more centrally. I just have much more confidence that we're going to score if he is playing more centrally. And we've seen a relationship between Havertz at the left 8 and Trossard work. Can Marino and Trossard replicate that? I totally hear you on that, dude. And it's really, really worrying that we are not seeing too much. I felt like the Forest game, there was a little bit of basketball happening. I don't know if you were happy with that or not.
I don't think so. I didn't think it was as... It's not end to end enough for us to make an offensive impact. It seems like if it goes end to end, we quickly go back into that shell. No, we're going to control the game. We're going to dominate. I'm sick of the word dominate. Like, within our squad, I'm sick of that. Isn't it, like, kind of disgusting? Like, oh, we're dominating. It means nothing. KP, like, it really means nothing at all. That's just the word they throw out there to make you feel good about it. I feel good about nothing that we're doing at the moment.
Yeah. Dominating what, dude?
Exactly.
Dominating what aspects? I mean, that Forest game, dude, I know it ended up 0-0. We did look exposed a little bit on the transition here and there, but the back line did pull through with some really nice tackles. You've been asking for some tackles. We got to see that a little bit, but ultimately the best chance we had came down to Calafiori, and I think it's time to have a real chat about this guy, dude. It's like we went and signed an Italian Zinchenko. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Okay, so a lot of the chatter is, I've seen people just referencing, put him up top, put him at the 9. I don't hate the shout. I'll be honest with you. I don't hate the shout. To me, we're in a moment in time where it's get your best 11 on the field. That's why I say Sterling just doesn't deserve to be on the field at this point. He's not one of our best 13, I would say. And we're hanging on who we have left. Calafiori seems like he's one of the best 11. Sure, he struggled at left back. We all have eyes. We've seen that he struggled. But offensively, he has created moments. In the games he's on, he creates moments. I appreciate that. Am I saying he's now going to be a 9 come next season? I am absolutely not saying that. But I'm looking at the team we have on the field, and I'm looking at who can score a goal. An open play, who's going to create that moment? I see 2 players, Waneri and Calafiori. Those are the only 2 I see, KP.
Dude, putting him up top is crazy.
We're running Marino up top. And I think we had this discussion last pod. Things are changing very fast. I said, hey, who do we play? West Ham. I thought first half he created some chances. He looked good. Forest, he did not look like he wanted to be up there. He just Marino. He did not look like he wanted to be up there. We're like going to the playground right now, KP. That's what the squad feels like. Put your best 11 out there. That's my opinion. Just do it.
It's hard. I mean, put your best 11 out there is an interesting perspective, because I feel like, is Miles Lewis-Skelly going to be available for the next game?
And that would be the caveat. He's probably out, right? I think he has is that a 3-game suspension? I will fact check us right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they counted that. I think it might have been a straight red after they changed it, but it wasn't a straight red for like a serious foul play. I think there's a difference between what the straight red means for 3 games versus 1 game. But I mean, while you're looking that up, I do feel like maybe that left-hand side can have a little bit more risk and opportunity for being inventive a little bit. Maybe Calafiori left wing, Miles Luskelly behind him. Maybe Tierney left wing, Miles Luskelly behind him, or Calafiori behind him. Maybe even Zinchenko somewhere up there. That's a little bit more digestible. But, maybe look to the other side. Could Timber play right wing and Benny Blanco play right back? We have so many defenders, so that's the only solution we have is we got to stick these guys somewhere. I don't know about striker though, but just because I don't know if he has the touch for that, dude. At least Marino can settle the ball a little bit. I don't get that feeling from Calafiori right now, and I feel like he gets done up, Steven. I've watched, how many games have we seen Calafiori play this season? Like 8 or 10 games, and Miles Luskelly has played maybe 8 or 10 games, and I still haven't really felt like Miles has been exposed defensively that badly. I mean, yeah, the Kudus moment, but before that, no one's really like skinned him and gotten by him. But Calafiori gets left for dead sometimes, dude.
So it is a 1-game suspension. Fact check on DGP. Vintage. It's a 1-game suspension. Excellent. He missed his game. He is back. He's playing left back next game. That's the reality. You agree?
Yeah, I think so. If he's available, he's our best left back right now. He hasn't done anything to prove us otherwise.
Agreed. Calafiori does get done. Agreed. Is Calafiori one of our shining moments going forward? I say yes. Do you agree?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like, what do we have, KP? What do we have?
Well,
we don't have anything.
Yeah, I guess if I were to challenge the manager a little bit more, it goes back to, again, why did we change our approach? Because you brought Calafiori off the bench. You brought Marino off the bench. 2 kind of good game changers right there to win the game against Leicester. Why did you change that? I just don't know. Why did we change that? Because now you're saying, and I'm thinking maybe Calafiori should come off the bench. As I'm just thinking about it, if you're saying he's one of our only moments player, he would be our first sub off the bench to make an impact.
I guess we can keep talking until we're blue in the face. We both see there's variation to be had. I don't think we've seen the variation happen in front of our faces when it's game day. When it's match day, we're not seeing the variation. We both believe there are things to be happening. I've always been on here saying, if I see you trying for it, if I see you're going for the game, you've made a change that you believe is correct, I back you. If it blows up in our face, it blows up in our face. But when we continually do the same things that have blown up in our face, and you say, nah, this one will be different because we dominated, I don't agree with you. I just don't agree with you. And it makes me very tired to watch it. When you're talking about not wanting to watch the game, it's because you expect the same result.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. On Wednesday, I was thinking, I'm going to see the same thing. It's that tape again, dude. I'm going to see the same thing.
The same result isn't warranted as a fan. That is not what we want to see. So I want variation. Zinchenko in the midfield. I'm for it. I am honestly for it. It's something we haven't seen. Fans have been chattering about it for how long? Left back, sure, he gets done. Put him in the midfield. I just don't really care at this point. Do something. It's like we're talking about the man with the stick on the rock. Do something, Mikel. Just do something.
Hopefully he tries something, bro, because honestly, this is starting to look literally like Stoke. This variation that I'm watching is Stoke City.
They called it out earlier in the season. This is it, right? This is Stoke 2.0.
Now it's starting to look like it. With Marino up top, it looks like it, dude.
I agree. When you look at the table, I think we've scored the 4th most goals in the league. Our goal difference is very good. Our defensive record, best in the league. So it's like, at one point when people are saying that, it's like, well, it doesn't matter because we're scoring a lot of goals. We're going off back-to-back scoreless games. The injuries have caught up to us. Set pieces. Set pieces are the moments, really, where you're getting, this is it. We could nick a goal here and win the game. This is Set Piece FC. This is Stoke City 2.0. Can you do it on a Wednesday night? A cold, rainy Wednesday night.
I guess not, dude. I guess not, because honestly, like, I gotta give a shout out Martinelli Hive, right? I'm watching these games. I'm just like, man, we're not getting a lot of corners. Like, Martinelli, we've been saying at least the one thing you can count on is he will get you a lot of corners. We're just not even getting that many corners anymore, dude.
We're not. I'm actually looking forward to him coming back. I've seen reports this week that it's April.
Wow.
Which is very disappointing. I did not realize. I thought this was going to be a month-long injury. Sounds like he's not coming back till April, which means it's a little bit more serious, which also means he's going to have to really be eased back into things. We can't lose the player for next year.
Yeah, so, I mean, given that comment, given where we are, you know, Martinelli, April, Havertz out, Saka, maybe May, I guess. Like, it's just the way it is, right? So can you realistically even expect anything else? I don't know, dude. I'm starting to get so worried that we're actually going to get into a top 4 fight. I think forget the title, dude. It's time to look down, dude. It is time to look down. Because the difference, not that much, dude. 11 games left. How confident are you we're going to be winning all 11? How confident are you that we're going to be consistently scoring in these next 11 games in the league? So you drop a couple of games here, and we are legitimately looking at a top 4 battle. Because the league, from like 5th place until 10th, there's like 2 points that separates everyone. The league has been so deep.
So from 5th place, Chelsea, to us, it's an 8-point gap. I guess that gives you a little bit of confidence, but the lack of confidence is we are not playing like a team that's a 2nd place team. And that's due to who we have left on the field. So when you're talking about a top 4 fight, I think we've kind of entered that. We're in that region right now, and I looked at the away games we have left. This to me is going to be our saving grace. I believe we show up for away games. Man United, Everton, Wolves, Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton. Those teams that I just named are from 13th to 20th. And then we have to play Liverpool at the end of the season away. So I'm going to throw that one out. But those games that I just named, that's where we need to pick up some points. Those are games I think we can go to their stadium and pick up some points. They see who we are right now. Nuno Santo, after the game, yeah, we only played 4 in the back because they don't have a striker. They don't have shit on us, right? These teams are going to say, we can nick some points off them boys. These are some lower in the table teams. Hopefully they come out and play us and we can find some space on them.
Can you hate on Nuno for those comments?
Oh, absolutely not. I think truth is the truth, right? We like to say this is a footballing pod. Those are just, he's spitting facts.
I think he is too, dude. I think he is too. And now when I look ahead to our next game, which I think is against PSV away, I'm pretty nervous because I think they have the ability to punish us on the counter. And it must be so easy for them to prepare for this game because we're not expecting to see anything different. There's no way they're expecting to see anything different.
This feels very huge in our season. This matchup feels enormous. I mean, we're talking 3-4 weeks ago. This just felt like another moment in our season to get to where we wanted to go. Now this feels monumental, in my opinion. Do you have that feeling?
I do feel like if we lose the first leg by 2 goals, it's over. I'm looking at it being just like how we went against Newcastle. That's how I'm looking at it. And I'm thinking, you lose by 2 goals that first leg, it's over. If we're going to play for a draw, again, do I want to watch the game on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time? Do I want to watch that? I'm not sure, dude. I'm just not so sure. And it's bad that you're looking at the away games in the Premier League and you're saying that's where we're going to pick up points. The vibes are not good at home, dude. That's not great.
I don't think the vibes are good. I just assume looking at those teams, so 13th to 20th, you go away to their place, they see a weakened, a sick let's call ourselves a sick deer right now. A sick deer Arsenal that's just in this moment in time. We can pick up points against them. So maybe they actually try to come out and get that nickel win. Specifically that bottom three. The relegation battle is almost feels like it's done at some point, right? Maybe Southampton says, screw it. Winning 3 points against an Arsenal is like a big up for us and our fans this season. So they actually come out and play and don't sit back. That's kind of what I'm really thinking in my mind. At home, they're gonna play us like they play us, right? And it's gonna be really hard for us. And that's a TV off type of game. The away games, they might try to play, and that's more exciting for us. We might be able to nick a few.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm worried. I'm worried about how everyone's feeling. I'm worried about the fan base starting to be detectives. Like Declan Rice and Big Gabby are having a little moment after the game, and they're like, "Oh man, look at all this drama." Like, I don't know, man. Like, they're just two adults talking about how shit we are, and I gotta give them credit for that.
It's Declan and Big Gabby. Those are like two of the captains, right?
That's how we see them. Yeah.
I would be very disappointed to see them laughing after the game, just having a good chuckle. No, they're talking about like how are we gonna let a 4-in-the-back Nuno team come in here and shut us out? It's disappointing.
Yeah. Let them keep talking, dude. Let them keep talking.
I need an answer from you, KP. You skirted me. Did I? So this PSV game, this PSV matchup overall, this tie, I'm saying it's monumental. You're talking about the first leg. So if you're saying we go down 2-0 and let's just say we lose the tie, we win the tie. How important do you think this is for the season overall right now?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. If we lose, I think it is pretty monumental, this game, dude. I think you're spot on, man. The manager could be in a lot of trouble, dude, from internal perspectives. And I think, Steven, one of the things that, at least as American Arsenal fans, we are maybe a little bit more accustomed to coping with where we are, because yes, it's monumental, but I just feel like they wrote the season off. And it's not uncommon in American sports for a team to write a season off and say, let's just go and get a better draft pick and we go again next year. That's how I feel like the decision making went in January. And I've kind of made my peace. Like, it is monumental, but at the same time, it's like, no matter what happens, I don't expect us to win the Champions League. It's going to be a no trophy season. So I've already kind of made my peace with that. And if as an Arsenal fan, you're still struggling with what has happened and how the season's going to end, I think it's maybe a very monumental for you. But for me, I don't feel like it really matters. Like, whatever. Like, I'm so heartbroken that nothing matters anymore, dude.
I think it's monumental based on the fan base. I think what you just said is good perspective. American fans are different. We might think of things differently, even like coach turnover. I've seen a lot of chatter about that. All American fans, they don't care. They're used to like letting their head coaches go quickly if they're not getting results because they're not in a promotion relegation type system. I think that's fair enough. But you talk about the fans at home being disgruntled. If we don't win this tie to PSV, that's where we're going to even lose more fans. I think a good thing about our fan base is there's a good spectrum of fans where, I mean, Arteta out at the beginning of this season based on nothing, right? 2 second places in a row. People are Arteta out for whatever reason. Then there's the other end of the spectrum of, do you remember the last 10 years of this team? Do you remember where we were? Here we are now, all positive. I feel like if we lose this tie to PSV, some of that positive traction gets lost. And we become the vibe is going to sour a lot more if we're unable to beat a PSV team. No disrespect to them, but that's a tie we would look at any time in the season, be like, yeah, we beat them. And two legs, yeah, we beat them. A chance to play a Real Madrid, an Atletico, that's big. Get those games at home, get to watch those. That's kind of our season right there, is getting to like see the quarterfinal against a big squad. if we don't make it, I think we're going to lose a lot more fans.
That's totally fair, dude. I think a lot of tickets are going to go up for sale that for the home games. I don't know if they're all going to be as packed as we would want them to be in the last couple of months of a season. And, I guess what I'll try to do is I'll try to help the people listening to this podcast at least try to cope with where we are a little bit better, because you have to put aside this terrible feeling right now and have a little bit of a longer term perspective and think about, at least we're challengers every season now. That's how it feels. It's 3 seasons in a row that before sort of kickoff, you're backing us to go and have a good run. And when you're in this situation, you can attract top talent. At least we know that. Why did it take Mikel Arteta 5 years to build this squad? Bro, the first 2 years, you know how hard it was to attract top talent for him? He had to sell a dream, dude. He had to sell a hope. But right now it's like, we just need like 1 or 2 pieces and we're good. We're good. Do you want to be that 1 or 2 pieces? That's a much better situation to be in than we have been. Look at Manchester United, dude. They're sitting like 15th, 14th. You think they're going to go and attract top talent next season? I don't know. This happens in the corporate world as well, dude. You see a company in trouble, talent doesn't want to go there. Everyone's always looking up, dude, and we're on the up right now.
Ooh, I think it's a monumental end of the season, monumental summer.
Absolutely.
If those signings don't come this summer, again, heads will be turning. I think a lot of heads will be turning. A lot of trust that has been built between the squad, the board, and the fans, that might be lost.
They have to do something. That's the only way. That's the only silver lining that I have for them, is that I just have to really, really believe they sat down in January and they said, we're not going to realistically catch Liverpool. We're not going to realistically win the Champions League with where we are. If we go after the top talents we want, we have to really overpay. If we don't go after them, it's going to be a Band-Aid solution. Band-Aid solutions have come to hurt us really badly, really badly. So let's just write it off. And in the summer, we go big. They have to go big in the summer. I totally hear you. That's what I'm hanging on to, because if they're not signing an attacker in the summer, then like, what are we even doing? Why, who are these decision makers?
Yeah, so I said if we don't do that in the summer, we could lose a lot of fans. Now, if we do the opposite of that, and what we're projecting is going to happen, they didn't make these signings in January or last summer because now this is the summer we're doing it, and it happens, I think you gain the faith back, right? That trust is still there. The board backed themselves. I want to say you're basically spot on if it happens the way we are all seeing it, right? We all read this stuff. This is the plan. If they really do back themselves, they're trusting their own process. I know you guys are disgruntled. We're going to get through this one, though. We're going to get top 4. We're going to make it to the next season. Next season, we're buying 3 players. We've already heard about Zubamendi. We've already heard about a striker. If we can pull a winger, like we're all saying, we all know, that builds a lot of faith. We go again. We go again. I'd seen something about Liverpool when they were in the title contenders with City. There's always that like thing between them two. It's like over those 5 or 6 years, Liverpool was second twice and won it once. This was like over a 6-year span. 2 second places, 1 win, and the rest of them, they were like 3rd or 4th, I believe. It's like, no, we're possibly 3 years in a row, 2nd place, possibly. We're there. The moment is there, KP. It is there.
Yeah, and you can only... You want to keep challenging resistance. And the more you challenge it, you can finally break through, right? So that's the other aspect of it. That's the positive point of it, that, okay, like, it's not like suddenly we're going to be in a relegation fight next season. No, like, I'm still fully backing us next season to be a title contender.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. There's obviously a lot of discussions about re-signing players. The Salibas, could he leave? Real Madrid's interested. Osaka, does he want to stay here long term if this is what he gets? Again, the board, this is a huge summer for the board. Huge summer for our club. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, so with that in mind, are you worried at all that we haven't heard a whole lot about this sporting director role? Like, I feel like Edu left. He's gone. And you've been on the mind of like, well, it doesn't mean that everything stops working after Edu leaves, right? It looked like this January, everything stopped working a little bit. So like in the summer, do we have to wait for this person to come in to help with the deals that we want? It's like you want to back the board and give them some leeway into their longer term thinking, but now you're just looking at the actual plans and you're like, where's the announcement? If we didn't announce any signings, can we get an announcement about who's going to be leading the ship?
I don't have a lot of opinions on that, and I wish I did. I wish I knew more about those type of things. Like in American sports, the GM, I know more about that role. I honestly don't know, like the director of football, those types of role, and these European clubs. I don't really understand exactly what they do. So I'm not privy to that information. It is weird that a lot of names are still being thrown around and we haven't locked one in. A little bit weird, or like maybe there's 3 solid candidates. It just seems like there's multiple names being thrown at us. That's kind of interesting, but I don't have a big opinion on that, KP.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think that's fair. That's fair. I appreciate your honesty around it, dude. And I don't necessarily know how much, because, I've been sitting here and I'm asking, like, who is deciding against signing attackers? Like, I don't know who is making that decision. So, like, is it the sporting director or not? Is it Mikel vetoing things or not? I just don't know. But, I mean, this PSV game, let's chat about it a little bit more, dude. What do you think realistically? What's your preferred scoreline?
I'm going to say something that may not be a popular opinion. I'm looking for a 0-0 in the first leg. I'm not even playing. Give me a 0-0 and we try to win it at home. The fans will be up for it. If we can get this thing in the home leg whether we just need to draw the first leg. If we can get it in that position and come home, the crowd will be back in the squad.
That's so sad, dude. I don't want to go into a game wanting to draw, dude. That is so sad. I don't.
It's not the Bernabeu, but it's away to PSV.
0-0. That would be a third game with us not scoring, dude. Oh, that would be so upsetting. But realistically, I feel like that's what Mikel's gonna play for.
Yeah, we have to keep in punching distance, and at this point, punching distance is a draw. If we go down, it's gonna be tough to get 2 goals. It just is.
See, this is where it gets really tough trying to balance that sucker punch that you've been talking about. Like, I just don't want to get sucker punch, and I worry if we get a draw in the first leg and in the second leg we get that sucker punch. Oh man, that would hurt so much worse than us just already having lost the first leg. If we lose the first leg 1-0, I'm not feeling too terrible, but dude, we're just so bad right now.
You got to keep it in punching distance. If we lose the leg 1-0, is there a chance? Absolutely. Again, the crowd would be backing them. If we are able to do the sucker punch on them, we sit back looking for a draw and somehow nick a goal. Excellent, right? Obviously, the goal is to win the first leg. I'm not going to sit up here and say we're going to play for the draw. Of course, we're going to try to win it. But if the tactic is to try to counterattack it, sit back, somehow get a jammy goal, I'm all for it. I'm just, if we do go down 1-0 in the second or first leg, 2 goals just seems like a very tall task, does it not?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not great. It's really not great, dude. I think maybe I'll go for a 1-0. Maybe a 1-0 win. I'll give that to us, dude.
I love that. Go for it. Go with your heart. Go with your gut.
Dude, the thing is about these Champions League games coming up is at least we have David Raya. That's a silver lining because we're going to have to win these games in PKs, bro. That's how it's looking.
That's also sad. We're looking forward to PKs. Come on, man. Come on.
Ah, dude. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. At least the Arsenal women are playing this weekend on Sunday at 12:30 against West Ham. I got that wrong on the last pod, so let me just fact check us there. Sorry to anyone who was hanging around last Sunday waiting for the ladies to kick off. That's my bad.
Shout out to the ladies. Are you about done for the day? Are you running out of energy here?
What else could we talk about, dude?
I got one more for you. A lot of chatter in the ether. Arteta. A lot of folks jumping on the train. Arteta out. I'd like to bring our own perspective in. I think it's a little bit different here. So the season ends the way it does. Injuries. Blase, blase. We go into next season. When is it time to say enough is enough? If results remain the same. Obviously, if we go on a great run next season, things change. But let's just say it doesn't go our way again.
One of the things that is important to remember is how we answered this question kind of at the beginning of this season. We had these conversations around, well, what happens if there's no trophies? We had that conversation.
We did.
And we said it really depends on how close we are to those trophies, how the performances look. And right now, we're not close to any of those trophies. The performances are not good. And the only saving grace for the manager is the injuries. That's it. And honestly, I mean, Mikel Merino getting hurt in the summer and being out for 2 months, that should have been just a sign for what a terrible season it was going to be, dude. I can't believe we all overlooked that.
It was written, huh? The script writers really did us early.
Yeah, we all like just took that on the chin, like, it's all right. And now it's
prologue.
Like, damn, dude.
They got us in the prologue. To me, it's one more season. I don't have any... There's really not an ounce in me that's saying Arteta out. Not an ounce. I think there's a difference between having questions about his decisions, questions about some of the tactics, things like that, and being like super critical of him and saying it's time to go. That's what I don't like about the online discourse. People like ask questions about it, and the automatic response is, you don't like the club, get out of here, you don't belong. It's like, you're allowed to ask questions, right? He's a young manager. This is his first team. There are some issues we consistently bring up that we don't think there are solutions with. We haven't seen improvement. There's been improvement in a lot of areas, but there are some critical areas we haven't seen the improvement yet. To me, if the summer goes like we said, it goes really well. I think he deserves another season. I would hate to see him leaving mid-season. That'd be disgusting. Give him a full another season, and we reassess. It's bad that this was a throwaway. This was a throwaway season.
It was still a good throwaway season. It's not like it was.
Yes.
It was a terrible throwaway season, right? I think there was one season where we finished 8th, right, and that felt like a throwaway season. This is nothing in comparison to that. And with the manager, for me, I think December. I'm not sharing your sentiment that give him another full season. I think come end of December, going into that January window, if the performances aren't there, if we're seeing the same BS that we've been seeing, dude, and I just don't have a lot of saving grace anymore, because I also feel like there is something to be said about how young a lot of these players were when he took over and how much they just listen. They just listen. And I feel like we're starting to get to a point where I need players to be questioning. I need players to be making decisions on their own. You see it in the NFL all the time, right? When they start giving the quarterback the opportunity to call plays on his own. Like, we don't have that. I don't feel like we have that quarterback on the pitch to call an audible. And I feel like that's because Martin Odegaard is kind of a yes man. I think Martin Odegaard will follow the manager. That's just how I'm feeling. This is just how I'm feeling. And I think there's a lot of other yes men in the club. I think that's why we like Trossard a little bit, because he's been around. He's willing to say, nah, dude, it's time for me to be playing right now. And I need a little bit more of that from the players, but I also need a little bit more of that freedom from a manager. And if a new manager comes in with some of those leeways, I just wonder how the players could be thriving under a less structured, and I mean, we've been saying dictatorship a lot on this pod when it comes to Mikel Arteta, because it feels that way, dude. It feels like an authoritarian regime.
You've seen the headlines about Joshua Kimmich?
See, I hated that I woke up this morning and I was seeing things online saying this could be potentially the Arsenal squad next summer. Let's stop that. Stop that stuff right now, dude.
Talking about a player, though, that wouldn't be a yes man. I think he fits the bill. You don't think so?
Sure. Yeah, he does.
He seems like that kind of player to me that would be speaking up for himself.
That's a little bit why I'm not so huge on Sesko. I want a guy up top who's got to not give me the ball kind of situation. Nah, like, I'm taking this free kick, dude. I'm taking the free kick. We're not putting this back post. So I personally, I think December. For me, I think December. But look, I'm still fully behind him. I think it's been a terrible season, dude. It's just been a terrible season.
It is. It's a terrible season. And something that I think didn't go our way either. Man City being in dire straits. That did not help our case. The other top 6 teams being awful doesn't help our case. Nottingham Forest is 3rd place. Like, think about that. We're getting so much banter about like bottling the league. Oh, they're in 2nd place. They lost the league in February. Where are you? Where are you at? Where are you? You guys should be in front of us at this point. We lost our best player, Saka. He's still on the top of the freaking leaderboards for big chances. And he's been out, almost 3 months now. We lost Martinelli. We lost Jesus. We lost Kai Havertz. Yeah, and you can say all that all happened after the new year. And we're still 2nd place. Where are you guys at? That's what makes it worse for me. If we had fallen to 3rd, 4th place because these other teams are playing really well, it's like, I think it takes a lot of pressure off of our squad, right? If you look at what we have right now, we don't look like a 2nd place team. But we talk about this being a competitive league. It's not competitive at the top. It's competitive around the middle, around the belly, but it's not competitive at the top.
Wow, dude. Say it louder, dude.
I mean, it really has been a detriment, I think, to Mikel this season, that no one's been able to compete with Liverpool. Everyone's looking at Arsenal, and that's why it's becoming even more of a talking point. Every single game, like, can they get back into it? Oh, if they win this, if they drop points, they're out of the title race. It's like, what are we doing? Like, where's everybody else at? Come on, man.
It is. It has been all on us, dude. And honestly, like, the craziest part is that I don't know how Liverpool keep getting away with these things, bro. They played Newcastle without Isak. When did Isak even get hurt? I didn't even know he got hurt. I just felt like everyone found out just before the game. They played City without Haaland. Like, dude, this is not just a one-off. They've been going through, and they've had 0 injuries. Like, you can't make that shit up, dude.
And you can't blame him for that. I know their one big injury was probably Konate when he was out for a month and a half. Another big injury to Alisson. But then that other keeper came in and just had this amazing patch, right? Like, that dude's gone in the summer. Someone needs to buy that dude because he can play. Kelleher's a player.
He was making crazy saves, bro.
So, yeah, they had these moments. And I honestly hate that stuff, too, is everyone comparing their injuries. Arsenal, what do you mean they're not in an injury crisis? Look at Tottenham. They had 11 players on. It's like, get the fuck out of here. We're in 2nd place. We're in different atmospheres, brother. We're talking about different situations. We're not looking for a relegation battle. We're trying to win the fucking league.
Dude, I love that. Yeah, man. It's so funny. The injury comparisons are funny. The lack of discussion around the fact that we've had to play every team at their top tier, and I just feel like you really haven't. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you don't have as many injuries, or maybe you have just as many. But like, who? Every time you played someone, I felt like you had an advantage. I don't understand how. But like, honestly, I do have to give them credit. I don't want to sound like a sore loser, man. Like, they are first place. They are looking like. I mean, they could break 90 easily. They're looking like champions. To your point, we're not even looking like a second place team, and we're just sitting there, bro.
Just sitting there. Gotta give credit to this dude, Mo Salah. Incredible season. He cannot stop scoring. He cannot stop assisting. He put in this nasty ball last game, and I saw Diaz put the ball wide, and you can see the way Salah reacted. He like turned around. And it's like he like wanted to look at the camera like, "Are you serious? My numbers could be so high, bro. My numbers could be through the roof."
Dude, he like recently, it feels like he's just unlocked this new weapon of the outside of the boot pass. He's just been crushing those this season, man. And yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, they do have the best player in the league. Like, that is the best player in the league, dude.
They absolutely do. I saw an interesting thing. It was like, if you could go back through history of your favorite sports team, pick one player and bring him into your team modern day, do you think that would make an impact? Could you win a championship? It's like, if we had a player like Thierry Henry and you put him in that squad at the beginning of the season, yeah, like, I honestly think we could have won the league. We needed one more killer. We needed a goal scorer. You put Thierry Henry on the left wing for me. Then we got Martinelli coming off the bench, Trossard coming off the bench. Ooh, that's a deep attack, no?
Dude, you don't even have to go that far back. You just go back to last season. If you had a fit Jerry and Timber, you win the league. Like, sometimes it's just one player, man. Unfortunately, we're down like 10. So it just is what it is. Make your peace with it. This sport, these next 2-3 months, don't have high expectations. Just get used to putting that VHS tape in and watching a lot of 0-0s.
That's a really good shout. I had texted you after the Nottingham Forest game. I felt relief. It's relief. There was that sadness after the West Ham game that we didn't go out on our shield. We kind of left it for them. Saw it again. Nottingham Forest is third place. That's a third place team right now. And we drew them 0-0 at their house. In all other scenarios, that's not a bad result. It's really not. I felt relief. This is who we are now. We're going to go to the end of the season. Top 4 is the goal. The title challenge is not there. That pressure is gone. I am lighter now, KP. I am lighter.
I love that, dude. All right, well, I think that's it for this one, man. Let's leave it there. Let's wrap it up. Thanks, everyone, for spending time with us. Enjoy the game on Tuesday. If you're going to watch it, no pressure. If you don't, there will be replays. And we will see you on the other side.
Be easy.